You were told that you do not qualify. Is that correct?
Tokens get spent. When they are done using you, they have no more use for you. I think it's so interesting that Harrison Floyd not only was initially denied bond, and now his bond is so high that reasonably he can't make it anyway. I'll talk about that in a second. But the fact that everyone else set up a bail bond before they even traveled to Fulton County, and they didn't bother to say, hey man, this is what we're all doing. You might want to have something set up because we realized we needed to have this set up. We're looking out for you because you're our guy. They didn't do that. They said nothing to him. Not only did they not tell him you need to get a bond agreement set up in advance, but they didn't help him get one. They didn't do a fundraiser for him. They didn't loan him any money. They just completely left him out in the lurch. And I think that that speaks to the value that they have for him, what they think about him. I'm telling you, I've learned this lesson the hardest of ways, which was being a token, thinking that I was doing the right thing for the right team, had all the talking points, but race really shouldn't be an issue. I did all that tap dancing. And when I found out, the way that I found out was when 2020 came, actually before that, but definitively when 2020 came, and you saw the narrative that these people that were being attacked by dogs and they were getting tear gassed and it looked like 1964 all over again. That narrative that these protesters were rioters or that George Floyd shouldn't have resisted or that Breonna Taylor had it coming to her, I'm telling you, they will spin the narrative so quick in order to jeopardize Black lives, to advance the narrative or the idea that somehow it was deserved. Somehow Black bodies always deserve to be brutalized. All these people that we went to church with, that we shared meals with, that we talked with, all this stuff, when it came down to brass tacks, they didn't have our best interest in mind. And when you realize that, you gotta be out. You gotta be out. And so you've learned the hardest of ways, my dude. Tokens get spent. And if you listen to that video, it's so sad because the first thing that you hear on that clip was that he requested defense from a public defender's office and they said that he doesn't qualify, which means that he makes too much money in order to qualify for indigent defense.
Now, whether you got a chance to watch last night's show live or you watched it afterwards, Harrison Floyd went on to a Twitter space call with Henry Tarrio. I know people are calling him Enrique. His mama called him Henry. That's what I'm going to call him, okay? Where Henry was sent $100,000. Harrison is still struggling for funds. And I brought to y'all live and in living color with proof to back it up that Harrison Floyd went before the court and said, as this man confirmed, he didn't have an attorney. But there was a law firm that was crowdsourcing for him. When I tell y'all that y'all were nearer to the complexion for protection, because you can say, well, Tario ain't white either, and neither is Harrison. But Tario was lighter than Harrison, so of course they. Now, I've been to arcades with my kids. I've been to car washes. Dave and Buster's is one of my places that I love to go. There's a little mini Dave and Buster's in my city. I make no qualms about my city being small in comparison to, how cities are denoted across the United States. Okay. It calls itself a city, but it's questionable. Baby, we don't keep tokens for long, even when they put the tokens on the card. But let's get into these updates and these shenanigans. And if you join me over here and you follow me on other social media platforms, can y'all put out the word that we start conversations over here before they gain traction over on other social media platforms? Because I'm getting hounded as to why I'm not talking about certain things that we've been talking about over here for months, weeks. I'm just saying. Now, Fulton County, baby, I told y'all when I gave that update over the weekend that we wasn't expecting, okay? That it was about to be on and popping today. Now, y'all remember when Mark Meadows said, move my trial over to federal court. And then Trump was like, yeah, move mine over there. But Trump still hasn't had a hearing. But we know that Mark Meadows was denied. Jeffrey Clark, the former acting assistant attorney general, had a hearing today in order to move his case to federal court. He went before the same judge that told Mark Meadows, baby, it ain't about to happen. Now, only one witness testified. But, baby, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. Jeffrey Clark did not appear in court today, even though he was supposed to. His attorney didn't know that he had to file for court for Clark not to appear. I am not trying to slam dunk on an attorney, but this is an attorney that's attached to a law firm. So a case this big, no other attorney was like, hey, bro, you make sure you didn't make sure you cross your eyes and cross your T's and dot your I's. Like, no. The defense presented zero evidence today in court. Keep in mind, the burden of proof is on the defense. And today was an evidentiary hearing, and the defense presented no evidence. Now, who did testify today was Assistant Attorney General Jody Hunt. And Jody Hunt testified for the district attorney of Fulton County's office. Now, if the name Jody Hunt sounds familiar to you, that's because they represented Cassidy Hutchinson in the January 6th committee testimony. And Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony was not favorable to the Trump administration. Now, they called Jody Hunt because Jody Hunt was Clark's predecessor to the position that Clark held under the Trump administration. This is important, just like in the Meadows case. So, Jody Hunt testified that due to occupying the same position as Clark, election fraud is not in their purview. And it didn't make sense for Clark to craft the letter. And this is the letter that got Clark in trouble, amongst other things, to the states affirming fake electors. And Clark contends he took instructions from Trump. So we know this is not going to work out in Clark's favor. So we know he's on the verge of turning state's evidence, baby. And keep in mind, just like the last time, Trump's attorneys were in court. But given this was outside of the purview of Clark, I want y'all to also realize that when Jeffrey Clark was doing what Jeffrey Clark was doing, he was using his official DOJ email. And for those that are not very familiar with Jeffrey Clark, during his time during the Trump administration, he was an environmental attorney with the civil division of the Department of Justice. Let me repeat that. He was an environmental attorney within the Trump administration of the DOJ. So him crafting letters and speaking to people and trying to intimidate people with his official email address from the Department of Justice. I feel brand new rules around me. I feel. But what were they telling us in 2016? Hillary's emails, Hillary's emails, Hillary's emails. And they're claiming that Biden is now weaponizing the Department of Justice. But if Biden was weaponizing the Department of Justice, would they have to be grasping at straws to try to convict his son instead of him? Now, Hunter Biden, y'all know when Marjorie Taylor Greene was still trying to circulate his dick pics, when she couldn't do it effectively on the congressional floor, she started emailing people his dick pics. Remember, y'all remember that? Y'all remember? Y'all remember? And we were like, Hunter, let your balls drop. Sue this bitch. That's revenge porn. That's the definition. Hunter has finally reached his capacity. Okay? And I'm here for it. So, Hunter Biden is now suing the IRS over the use of tax information. The suit claims that his private information was shared unlawfully. This is aimed at two IRS whistleblowers. Now, the whistleblowers contend that Hunter was given preferential treatment by the IRS and FBI during their investigation into his tax evasion. Keep in mind, Hunter Biden, that's the pejorative charges that he has and has had for months. After all the investigations, this is what he's supposed to go into court about. That he's never denied, never wavered. It was like, yeah, okay, let's go to trial. This is what the fuck I did. I'm willing to put together a payment plan I've already started the payment plan. We put this in motion, but I realized I broke the law. I got to go before a jury of my peers and get this situated. There's been no running or hiding from this. But let's go a little further into this, because I don't just skim the surface. Okay, we're not doing cliff notes around here. So the suit alleges that there was unlawful releases of private information regarding the tax returns. The whistleblowers who testified publicly to Congress, Gary Shapley and Joe Ziegler, they claimed that Congress authorized the information to become public. I give y'all two guesses as to why certain members of Congress decided that certain parts of his tax return should become public. Because technically, all of our tax records are public up to a certain point. And let me say that because I know there's some people, whether watching live or they're going to watch later, that are going to be like, hey, it's public. Think about what you put on your tax records. Think about what you put on your tax documents. And regarding certain things being flagged by underlings in the IRS, how would higher ups know about your IRS filings, regardless of where you fall in the tax brackets? And if you think I'm joking, I can do a whole show. I can pull in former and current IRS. Well, they'll have to be predominantly former IRS agents up until a couple months ago. And we can break it down for y'all. Let me know. Let me know. Now, also, the information that was leaked led to Marjorie Taylor Greene leaking dick pics and much more that was leaked regarding Hunter Biden. And Hunter Biden has never run for any political office. I have searched myself. I have not seen where he's registered to run and then backed out, where he's run and then lost, where he won a small office in a small town. Nothing. Nothing. And you're absolutely right. But let me tag on to that. On top of that, the information that was leaked, as we've talked about it on this podcast, it was leaked to the public as an ongoing investigation was happening. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm investigating something, one, I don't release that I'm investigating it. Two, I don't release any bits of information. And even if I have to talk to somebody that, even if I'm questionable about if they're going to release this to the public, I'm slick with it. So you're going to tell me the FBI that's gone through Quantico, that, I swear for God, in the 2020s, We civilians, we untrained civilians are put at a higher standard. The motherfuckers. But let's get an update on day 4 of the UAW strike. So the scope of the strike may be widened. And what I mean by the scope, right now we know that within 3 states, 3 factories are being uh, held under strike. That might widen because the White House has stepped into the chat and the CEOs are still like, no, trying to give excuses so that they can protect their profitability, but not pass that profitability of the company as a whole onto the workers that saved them. Because y'all do recall in 2009, well, 2001, then 2009, when the automotive industry needed a bailout. That bailout came by the hands of the workers. And then the CEOs are like, well, we're moving towards electric cars. Who gonna make them electric cars, Bertha? Who gonna make them electric cars, Charlie? And just so y'all know, the intimidation tactics that are trying to be utilized, Ford has laid off indefinitely non-striking members. So you motherfuckers who decided you want to pay your union dues, but then go against your union because you didn't have faith in them, even though they had faith in you, how you living now? GM later this week has said that they're going to idle a plant, which is going to affect thousands of workers. And I need y'all to realize these workers that are affected are also secretaries, couriers. And if a plant is put on idle, what about those cafeteria workers? What about those food trucks? What about those Uber workers? And I need y'all that are fighting against people getting livable wages, and those of y'all fighting against unions, I need y'all to realize the biggest propaganda scheme outside of the United States propagandizing to the world as if the world actually has ever believed them is people trying to tell you that, oh, if we increase this, it's going to increase the cost for you. That's a goddamn lie. And once again, let me break it down to you like this. Everybody uses USPS, the United States Postal Service, right? And you might complain that the stamp has gone up a couple cents this year, a couple cents this year, a couple cents this year. But the stamp is still under $1, right? Do y'all know how many days, every day, every single day, a person that works for the Postal Service gets a promotion, gets a raise? Do you even know what the starting figure is? Just at distribution locations. It's a minimum of $20. It's a minimum of $20 in the Midwest. They say shit like that to you so that you can freak out and you can go to your family member freaking out like, oh my God, I can't afford to take care of you. We're gonna die. We're gonna please don't do this. So that they can still pay y'all piss poor. And you so dense in the fucking head that you don't realize after you done talk that family member out of being paid properly, you're still stressing yourself and that family member because y'all can't make ends meet. Because I still remember the days that it was cheaper for auto manufacturer workers to live with family members in different cities. That they would basically live in their cars Monday through Friday and then come home to their cities and live with the family member. I have an uncle who did that. Actually, I have several family members who had to do that. And for those of y'all that go, minimum wages for teenagers, no. Every job, every company has entry-level positions. And if you look at those entry-level positions nowadays, they're astronomical. There have been things that I have helped people develop that companies are leasing from us. Leasing. We still have full ownership of it, okay? That they're telling people, oh, you need to have 10 years experience on it. Bitch, we just developed this and leased it to you last year. 10 years where? And they do this to try to verklemp you. Or they'll be like, well, we're a family. Bitch, where? Shit, my blood family don't even treat me right. My blood family don't treat me right. And I had a friend who got in her feelings because she was injured on the job and she was pissed off that none of her coworkers visited her at the hospital. And I had to tell, bitch, they ain't your friends. She's like, but they came to my house for parties because you had free liquor and free food, bitch. They're not your friends. Can you make friends at work? Absolutely, positively. But also keep them bitches on a long-handled spoon. Because generally the motherfuckers that claw to be your friend at work, they just want some gossip to bring back to work to make themselves look like they in the know. Especially if you're doing a damn thing in your fucking position. That's how the United States has been set up. It's a dog eat dog world. And they try to tell you that different marginalized communities are the crabs in a bucket. That's why you hear so many black people going, we can't get ahead because we crabs in a bucket. No, we're not the ones that are crabs in a bucket. It's the whole fucking country as a goddamn whole. Y'all not ready. Y'all not. But let's move on to a topic that so many of y'all keep messaging me about. And yeah, I saw the shit. I saw the shit. And because I had already addressed this whole over the years and on a recent topic, but since you want it, here we go. And I'm gonna let somebody else soften the blow before I come in and tell you exactly how the fuck I feel about. Turn your volume up because you're gonna need a beverage. That's all I'm gonna say. See you in 2 and 2.
Why do you think we're in a happiness slump in America?
Ooh, I will tell you, one of the most profound reasons, I think, is because everybody is looking at other people's social media, what they believe to be other people's lives, which is only a snapshot of other people's lives, and feeling envy about that. And one of the things that Arthur and I talk about in this book is that envy is the great destroyer.
The happiness killer.
It is the happiness killer. And so anytime you're looking at anything else with envy, you have already killed your own happiness or your ability to be happier in that moment.
Okay. I know I said somebody else is going to give their commentary, and they were, but this is why I have a problem with W.E.B. Du Bois, who doesn't even pronounce his own name correctly, because it's W.E.B. Du Bois. People being unhappy because of them being destitute in the United States is nothing new. It did not, unhappiness is not the product of social media. And I know so many people are trying to give that as an excuse. Like, oh, my teenager is depressed because of this. This is all your teenager knows. Explain your depression. Explain being 30 and above. and having depression and anxiety and body dysmorphia. We didn't grow up with social media. And by saying that, you're admitting that things that you attach to being a minor in society, it's not a minor situation. So when I say, stop saying, oh, this is a teenage thing, we shouldn't let us bother us. No, hurt feelings are fucking hurt feelings. Somebody being disrespectful to you and you checking them and matching their energy should not be. That's high school behavior. No, that is a way for adults to escape accountability. But let's go back to the original. People are not unhappy across the globe because unhappiness is not sustained to just the United States. And if we're going to say just America, America includes Brazil, South America, Canada, Mexico. Oh, y'all not, you're not really, you're not ready. Because it's been ingrained into you that America just means these 50 states, not even the 50 states, the 48 continual connected states, not the countries that people turned into states. But you have Oprah Winfrey, who grew up in quintessential Jim Crow, Reconstructionist, redlining, blockbustering poverty. Who's like, well, I gave a big up to, a handful of white people, so I must be it. I paid my penance. I did a few struggle films for the black folks, so I must be okay. No, she is the pinnacle of all skinfolk and kinfolk. Because in her mind, she has convinced herself thoroughly that she is a part of the 1%. And when we say the 1%, you go, Taz, there's no way that it could be race-based. Yes, the fuck it is. Because how did you become the 1% without stepping on, marginalizing, breeding, or enslaving non-white people? Because no matter how much wealth Oprah Winfrey amasses, who does she never surpass? With all of her wealth, when it comes to influence, who will she never surpass? And isn't it funny that all of the educators that want to bring out the actual factual history that's not connected to being a TERF, that's not connected to changing yourself, to placate white comfort, who has Oprah comforted? Because even her school, she came from the main streets of Chicago, from the South, and then she moved into the mean streets of Chicago. She didn't build a school in the United States. And then when it came out with evidence that young girls were being molested, what did she say? Oh, that's right. Not a damn thing. We know about the TV network that has Oprah's name kind of sort of attached to it now. But do y'all remember the original name and the original network and what's rampant on that network now? Oprah is so about propelling her own people that one of her own people on her book list, on her celebrity gift list, within her magazine, or on the cover of her magazine. Oh, that's right. It's only Oprah on the cover of her magazine. But of course, racist white people think that Oprah is once again one of our gods. We don't have fucking gods that walk upon the earth. Okay, we make jokes regarding the iotas. If you know about the Divine Nine, if you know, you know. And we make jokes that they can walk up to their founders' houses and knock on the door, and their founders can answer the door. We are connected to our ancestors. She's connected to profitability. And she is not like Mary Pleasant, who decided to gain wealth in order to help her fellow marginalized people. This wealth has taken control of her. She said goodbye. She ain't gonna be black no more. Why do you think? What? First of all, let's give all praise to Stedman to becoming the ultimate sugar baby on top of Gayle King, because Gayle King has utilized Oprah Winfrey's name and status to propel herself, because Gayle King, fuck her. Her interviews are shit. Absolute shit. And she placates to white comfort over truth and factuality. But Gayle gets to go on all these expansive vacations with Oprah. But Stedman has access to all of the mansions. Build me a mansion. Oh, build me a mansion. And Stedman gets to slide by all the controversy and just sit back and be like, build me a bank rush. Build me a bank rush. Build me a bank rush. Oh, yeah. I'm even bringing up Dr. Oz, because his own daughter was hesitant to bring him up when she was on a TV cooking show. And then Dr. Phil, who really ain't never been a doctor, that was allowing young girls to be disrespected and molested. But I can't put all the onus on Oprah for that, because for years, I kept saying people in the audience and watching were focused all on the wrong things, and then wanted to act all verklempt when stuff came up. And I'm like, y'all ain't paying attention. Y'all are just tuning in for the sensationalism, and that's what he was giving you. But there's another story that seems to be captivating people, and I don't understand why it's captivating y'all, because old money and nepotism and motherfuckers never having to work for what they actually have, and them making the decisions that they make based on the fact that they've never had to work for shit, should not shock y'all. But anywho, we got 2 videos regarding Drew Barrymore, and then we'll come back on the other side.
I wanted to own a decision so that it wasn't a PR protected situation, and I would just take full responsibility for my actions. There are so many reasons why this is so complex, and I just want everyone to know my intentions have never been in a place to upset or hurt anyone. It's not who I am. I've been through so many ups and downs in my life, and this is one of them. I deeply apologize to writers. I deeply apologize to unions. I deeply apologize.
Look, I don't know what's going on with Drew Barrymore, and I hate seeing this because she is one of my favorite actresses. But she
2.0 after she took the video down. This came up very recently. I grabbed this like 47 minutes ago, so it came out early Sunday morning. Pause to read. I'm not part of this exact union, so look to them to see if this is enough for them or not. Drew
basically said that she would delay any more shows because of her actions. Bullshit. And white women, stop looking at other white women and going, I'm going to find a way to defend her. There was nothing hard about this for Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore was not losing any money. Drew Barrymore, and people are like, but Taz, Drew got pulled from this and she can no longer. Drew Barrymore comes from hundreds of years of acting. Drew Barrymore comes from old money. Drew Barrymore didn't have to have a single bone in her body that had any amount of talent. We know that we've seen Drew Barrymore in things that we're like, what? That didn't make no sense. That did not. And you're going to tell me that Drew Barrymore, Ashton Kutcher, and others that are worth millions of dollars all of a sudden live in houses that look like ours? Look at them backdrops. And they're not green screens. Look at them backdrops. I've been through so much in my life. Bitch, you've been through so much in your life because your family is all about profitability. And that is white people culture. We watched it with 8 passengers, where motherfuckers could put on full display their disrespect to children and their abuse of children and amass millions of followers and thousands of dollars per week of revenue. But let a non-white mother look at their child like this. Y'all will weaponize CPS. And CPS won't even investigate. Drew Barrymore knew what she was doing. She just didn't realize this wasn't 1906 and her family wasn't dominant in the movie industry, in the film industry, in Hollywood. She forgot, bitch, at this point, you standing alone. You standing alone. Kim Kardashian is a fucking scab. She's not getting the backlash because guess what? She got 6'11" family members that can come to her beck and call, and a bunch of people that are like, oh, well, Kim Kardashian is a woman of color and her baby daddy is going crazy with his new wife. But y'all forget that Kim Kardashian been sucking dick up and down the eastern and western coastline for decades. And who the fuck ever said that Kanye West was the epitome of modesty? These bitches get with Kanye because they think Kanye got the coins. I'm not making excuses for anybody, but nobody is a victim in that situation. Like I saw where somebody made a comment today on social media saying that there were women taking advantage of sugar daddies. Bitch, just say you ain't never had enough coin to be a sugar daddy. And can't nobody in the history of sugar daddies take advantage of a fucking sugar daddy, because a sugar daddy is always going to offer up more than what he getting. And it ain't nobody's fault but the damn sugar daddy. You don't need a plan for a sugar daddy. A sugar daddy got a plan for you. He think that he lowballing you. He really thinks that he's lowballing you. And sugar daddies are so old that if you just don't teach them how to Google, baby, you good. The fuck? Y'all, let's go ahead and get into this Bethany Frankel situation. This is a turn the volume up because you're gonna need to go get a snack and top off your beverage, whether it's lemonade, sweet tea. Some of y'all do just get some Moscow mules and stuff, whatever, or some ice water. Put it in your cup. Go get your snack. Turn the volume up. Because we're gonna do more than 2 and 2. But when we get done, y'all know what I'm about to do. Ew.
Bethany Frankel is not afraid to show the world her white privilege. She decided it was a good idea to go to TJ Maxx to hand out a bag of used makeup. This is makeup that she bought, opened, and tried, and decided she was going to give it to the employees at TJ Maxx as a gift. And you're spending hundreds of dollars on expensive makeup, but you've never heard of lotion? Look at her hands. Use some lotion, honey. So this is Bethany's friend that she didn't even know this lady's name. She asked the lady her name in the video. Her name is Consuela. It looks like she's the manager, and she was scared shitless. You could hear her in the video saying, "I don't want to get into trouble. We're not supposed to take gifts or anything of the sort from customers." So Bethany said, "I'll contact TJ Maxx on Instagram and they'll make an exception for me." So she thinks they're going to change the company policy for her. This lady's probably going to lose her job or get into some kind of trouble.
So I came to TJ Maxx with my daughter because the women who work here are so nice and they're always complimenting me on what we buy. So I wanted to bring them some of the leftover makeup that I just try, like open up and put in a giveaway pile, but it's all brand new.
Used.
So we brought over the giveaway stuff and I put it all in separate little bags for my friends here. So you'll meet them soon. So this is my friend who compliments my purchases. What's your name? Consuela. Okay, so I've got some goodies for you in here.
Doesn't even know her
so
name.
I put them in separate bags, like so it's like got separate like eyeshadow, brushes, lip, whatever. But I'm gonna give you the whole thing, and you can give it out to your friends. But they're all things that have been opened once and like not used, but they're good and fancy and expensive. Okay. A lot of trouble for taking it. No, I'll talk to corporate. You're not gonna get in trouble. Why would you get in trouble? Don't worry. We're not allowed to take any kind of gratuity or gifts. Oh my God. All right, Consuela, I'm going to message TJ Maxx on the Instagram and they're going to make an exception. Okay? Don't worry. They'll come reach out to you because the people are going to speak. Okay, Consuela, you're the best. All right, I'm messaging TJ Maxx because Consuela's getting that stuff.
The caucasity.
All right, hopefully they'll make an exception. Otherwise, I don't know what she's going to do with that stuff.
I'm in a lot of trouble and I think I'm being canceled. I did something very wrong. So I get sent a lot of makeup to try, to test. And makeup brands are very, very generous with how much they send. They'll send it in every shade because they want to make sure that you like the product and that you've gotten the right shade. So in some cases, I'll open a box and it rips the box a little bit. And then I'll look at a shade to see if it's right for me and determine it's not right. Now we have a ripped box. So it's not new, it's not used, but I don't need it because I don't need 3 concealers and 3 shades. I need 1 concealer and 1 shade, if that. Same thing with 7 pinky nude lip glosses. I don't want them to go to waste. I think they're beautiful. I do give them to my staff and my assistant and other people, and I always have bags in my car for random acts of kindness. If someone's nice to me, I just hand them something. So I certainly don't need all 3 of these. So I will open it up, put it on my hand, maybe put it on my lips, not from the applicator because I know that I am going to give it away. And then what I do is I have a whole big bin or bag that I keep all the things that I'm not going to use, but that are perfectly good. And then I take Ziplocs and I separate them. So each kit will have.
So this woman right here, Bethany Frankel, is now saying,
I'm spending so much money.
I'm spending money so you don't have to.
Bethany Frankel amassed 1 million followers on TikTok, telling them that she was spending her own money to review products and that she didn't need nor want to accept money from brands. She did this to create trust with her community and to assure them that her reviews would remain impartial, unbiased, and untainted by brand influence.
I get sent a lot of makeup.
Legally, that's illegal. If you are telling the public and not saying that this is a sponsored post, not tagging it as sponsored, and telling people you're spending your own money, that's illegal. Also, opening up, first of all, for people who do not indulge in makeup, if you notice on the box at the bottom, there's a huge swatch. You can hold that up to your skin. It's pretty accurate, pretty accurate. But taking something and swiping it on your skin and putting it back in does not take away it being compromised. It's touched your skin. And I can guarantee you that she didn't go and wash her hands and sanitize everything before if she would have said, you know what, I took this straight out the package, this swatch. Like, I don't even use the cardboard swatches at stores to put perfume on. At this point in my life of buying products for myself, I pretty much know what's going to work for me or what doesn't. If I get home and it doesn't work, I have a family member or friend that it will work for, and I can give it to them. But anything that's going to touch my skin, it's got to go. And for her to get so many different complexions, she's lying. She's utilizing her staff in order to get free stuff. They're not sending it to Bethany Frankel. So that stuff is going through her staff. They don't like it. They send it to her. I promise you that. I promise you, no makeup company is wasting that much product for you. If that was the case, every beauty influencer would be doing giveaways every single fucking day. Every single fucking day. Because as soon as they would take it out the package, they know it's not going to be good for their skin. So you're telling me, I tell a company, I got combination skin, and they sending me shit for oily skin and dry skin only. For what? For what? For what reason? And she goes, oh, my friends here, they always compliment. Them bitches, them motherfuckers at TJ Maxx don't know who the fuck you are. Because any of us that shop regularly at TJ Maxx, Burlington, Ross, anything, we know the rules. And we also have real life friends that work there or have worked there or we used to work there. We know the fucking rules. And she's like, oh, it's never been used. Did y'all peep? That gentleman in the original video was right. Did y'all peep what else was in those packages? Talk about, oh, I give them. If you're already giving things away regularly, I made videos on my TikTok joking about the stuff that my children take from my house. Because my children know me well enough that if something sits and it, like, let's just say my fragrances, my daughter knows I buy things in sets. The body wash, the body spray, the lotion, the hand cream, the perfume. I buy them in sets. If they don't come in a set like that, I don't do it because I don't like to mix and match smells and she knows when I don't like something. That's when she'll be like, "Mom, can I have this?" Yeah, go ahead. And I have a brush cleaner. I have a brush cleaner that also sanitizes the brushes. So I could clean every makeup brush that I have and I could legitimately give them away because by the time I clean them and sanitize them, they're legitimately back to being good as new. But no, Bethany Frankel took to her social media to claim that it's woke ideology and white saviorism talking points that are going to can't. Who the fuck is buying anything from Bethany Frankel? There was a period of time that I did like her skinny girl line until I actually tasted the skinny girl line. Because I had people that were making things with her skinny girl stuff, but they were adding extra. And I'm like, oh, if you, she's obsessed with, and the whole skinny girl persona comes from white supremacy. But as always, thank you all for joining me here. Make sure you check out the links in the description of this video. And a new blog entry has dropped for the Camp Taz blog, so make sure you go over there. And tomorrow, since it is Tuesday, make sure you check out the link in the description here or any other social media platform that you follow me on for the latest drop of Tastastic Tuesday. And make sure you follow the audio-only podcasts that are on Spotify and share with your friends and share this podcast with your friends as well. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. I will check in with y'all tomorrow or later tonight on TikTok. We'll see how I feel.